The following Dysfunctional Gaming podcast was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back again for episode 36 of Dysfunctional Gaming's Talking D&D. This week, we are talking about maps. But before we get into maps, let's talk about some other things and what we did last week.
Who are you?
I'm Thundercat.
I was like, wait, what? Did we
AKA
skip
the
that
beard,
whole part?
AKA the beard. And over there is GM Patch Nasty, AKA the mustache.
The brains. I am the brains. Hello, mustachioed brains. I forgot who I was there for a moment.
I forgot to introduce myself, so who cares? We're off to a great start. I'm more excited to talk about something else anyways than even our topic this week is Extra Life.
Ah, yes, money. Yes. Extra Life.
Yes. Not money. Well, yes, money for them.
Yes, money. Yes.
Give us your money for them.
Yes, give money to kids. Kids
we're,
is what it's for.
We're raising money for Extra Life. This year we have our goal above us up there. I have a new goal that's up to October 15th. If we get to $1,000 by October 15th, I will play a Sunday night scary game decided by the Discord.
Yup.
And then, yeah, probably hopefully raise some more money that night too.
Yeah, money.
Did you have your appointment coming up soon for your hair?
Yes. I have not scheduled it. I'm still keeping the voting open in the Discord so far. It's gonna be purple. I don't care what anybody purple's winning by a lot. So yay, I'll be able to get a haircut and a color. So it'll be nice and Gengar purple.
There you go.
And I still have potentially 1 to 2 slots left in the D&D game. I think I'm gonna cut that off probably Sunday. Sunday after my stream, I'm gonna cut it off and then I'm gonna talk to people who are in it and we'll tick that box and play some fucking D&D.
Nice. An Extra Life themed Dungeons and Dragons camp one shot, right?
Yes. So in a nutshell, they will be competing for whatever they want to raise money for their group, and it is going to be at a theme park gone awry because it's D&D. Why wouldn't things go awry?
Right, obviously. Cool. That should be fun. So how do you do that? How do you get to join?
You can donate $25 anytime you see my face on a Twitch screen. If there is an Extra Life and it is attached to the Dysfunctional Gaming TTV Extra Life, which is this Extra Life, if I might happen to be on Thundercat stream, who knows? $25 at that point, or during one of my streams. Donate $25 and you can play some D&D. It feels weird to extort people, but it's for kids, so I don't really care.
I agree. 100%. All right. Also, we're going to also promote a D&D campaign that is going to be starting on this channel October 1st, Friday. The War for Garaxia will be having their first session 1, live on Twitch.
Next Friday,
October 1st. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We recorded our session 0 this past weekend.
How goes the editing?
I've got 2 hours and 45 minutes down to an hour and 15 minutes.
Hey, that's not bad.
I still have an hour to edit though. I haven't edited an hour.
Is that mostly me talking?
Well, so yeah, there was a lot of extra stuff I had to keep in because of the way your character talks.
My cadence.
Yes. So like I couldn't cut a lot of stuff because there was things that need to be in there for your acting, your voice acting reasons. Like I can't, it doesn't make sense to cut it and shorten it. It's just, yeah.
To get the full experience, you should be here Friday, October 1st, which is not this coming Friday. This is the first Friday of October, which is next week. Good God, it's almost October. The leaves are churning. At 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's on twitch.tv/dysfunctional gaming TTV. Look for the squid. Look for the Dark Lord.
We will have a promo coming out at the end of the week, hopefully. I'm hoping by Saturday. If not, we can premiere it on Tuesday next week. But I'm hoping to have it out by Saturday.
Yeah.
Hello,
I was gonna
Fuzzrab.
say, if you can't get it out, I was gonna say if you can't get it out by Saturday, get it out. Put it to start the episode. Hi, Fuzz.
Well, that's what I was hoping to do. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna play it on Tuesday no matter what, because we're going to be. We'll talk about that one later. But yeah, so the War for Garaxia starting Friday, October 1st, 1.5 weeks from today.
Next Friday.
Yep, crazy. We're gonna be playing D&D on stream. I've talked about it a long time ago. I wanted to do a podcast of D&D a long time ago, and now we're actually going to be doing it on stream live in front of people. It's kind of.
I've been hyping it up in Tater's chat every time I've dropped in. I'm like, hey, Tater, how are you?
Yeah, well, that's what he was.
That's
what he was saying. Just that I talked to him today, and he said that he's like, how's that editing going on the video? Because a lot of people ask me that they need telling me that they need to see it. I'm like, yeah, it's going. Don't worry, we'll get there. And then also Patreon. We do have a Patreon. I'm going to I'll probably upload the video unedited onto Patreon.
The whole session?
Yeah, the whole session, so you can watch the whole session.
D&D
October 1st.
Next Friday.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
So that would be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would be 5 hours for fuzz time. So that's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah. Cool. Glad we promoted that. Last week, we talked about choosing your weapon. If you wanted to catch up on that, where can you find that stuff?
We talked about potions last week.
I looked at the wrong thing. We talked about potions.
But you can
also 2 weeks ago we talked about choosing a weapon. Where can you find that stuff as well?
You can find the video format on YouTube for both of those lovely episodes 34 and 35, weapons and potions respectively. You can also find them for your ear potatoes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Anchor FM. I would say Spotify simply because it's what I use. Because it's
and once again, look for the logo. That one.
Look for the Dark Lord. Look for the squid.
Cool. Potions was actually a good conversation. I kind of enjoyed that, seeing the different potions that I never really thought about using, and now I'm going to totally use in different ways, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah,
creative ways.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for marking that in your calendar, Fuzzrab. We appreciate you being there. Let's talk about maps. I know it's not your favorite thing, but I do like them.
So
I like them a lot.
Let me start off. Being a theater of the mind DM and someone who DM'd on Discords and PlayStations where I could try to make a map available, it's a lot easier just to have a small little thing. However, I have also DM'd the Tomb of Horrors and the Tomb of Annihilation, or the Tomb of the Nine Gods. So I do have respects for dungeon world. I'm not a big combat grid fan. That is where my thing is. But maps are cool. I mean, you can show a lot about a world in a map. Thundercat, go on, Mr. Cartographer.
I try.
You do. It's not. You don't try. You succeed. Because I've asked a lot of questions about your map just by looking at it, but I don't want to ask a question.
I think maps can be important to your D&D game when it comes to figuring out how long it's going to take to travel somewhere, or to show in vicinities of, like, you're here across this mountain pass that you see is where you're supposed to go, and your characters understand that that's where you need to go. So if I have that in front of me, then you know that the terrain's going to be like shitty. You're going to have to go over a fucking mountain and oh, well, each box is going to be a day's worth of travel. So I made
Sounds
a
about
box.
right.
So if you go 8 boxes, that's almost a week, almost a 10-day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go through the mountain, so it's probably going to be a little bit slower than that. Like, think about.
All right, so
Then you can like look at that and go, wow, I really need to change my outcome of what my character was thinking before we took this trek. Like,
So let's break it down like maps as a whole. So first, let's start off with your generic world map, right?
yeah,
That
world
would
map.
be world map would be that's where you get kind of an idea of what's behind what's where, and how long it will take to travel places.
The border of this,
Yep.
our background,
Yep.
is the Faerun Sword Coast map.
It's a piece of the world map.
Yes, and this is obviously a published map, like a well done, like made map by a.
And the good
like,
thing is too, like, you see how I'm in the fucking ocean? There might be other stuff that's not on that map that you can easily put a post-it note. Be like, hey, this is over here now. Like, someone just found this. There's
yeah,
something over
exactly.
there.
We created this island that is out here. Blah blah blah. Your character knows this.
Starting off, I will say world maps I do like because it gives you an aspect of what the game's going to look like, what to kind of prepare for while traveling, and like an aspect of how big this world really is. Like, if I start off in a game as a player with just a city map, I'm immediately like, where can I go find a big map? Because I want to see how big the world is.
Right.
Because that's one of those things that my mind immediately goes, how big is this? How big's the sandbox? Can I make some room in the sandbox? Because I'd love to make a little town that I came from. Yeah.
And once again, you can see the landscape of the world as well, if with the world map. Some places, I mean, depending on the time when you're playing your campaign, you can say that a lot of it's been unexplored. So you can say that the map that you have of the world is actually a lot smaller than what you would expect. And everything outside of this much on a piece of paper is unexplored. Like, if you go out further than that, you're really making your own map as you go.
It's going from a global like perspective to a universal aspect. Like when you have like the tiny one, like, wow, I'm just this little speck, and there's so much more.
Right.
I love that.
And then, like, moving on, you get like your town map, your villages. Maybe you do like just a castle keep area. Maybe you do a castle that's built into side of a mountain, so you have more of it. So just like the front of the building. I don't know. You can do, and that's not even a map at that point. It could be just a picture of it, and then yeah. And then you could do your dungeon on the inside, or you can map out what the inside looks like for when they go in.
Let's stick with the city map though first before we even go into like an area in the city. So your city map, you're gonna see like density. I assume would be the first thing if you're how big the city map is. If you're only getting a little piece of it, it's not a good city map in my opinion. But like a big overhead, you can see how tightly buildings are together. That means there's probably a lot of people in the city. Another big thing to look for is the thing around a city. Look for that big, fat black line because that'll signify a wall to me. So this place is probably well guarded. And then like city maps, I like because those I tend to personalize more to like my own liking. Yeah, something like that. That looks
DM's book.
Yep. So like
Page
I would probably start
313.
circling. circle in like little buildings as a player. Be like, oh wait, this is where the item shop is. This is where the bounty board is. This will get a big old point and arrow to it. There's something over here on this bridge, but I don't know yet. So let's go find out. I like city maps. They're not terrible. It's a good tool to kind of see once again how far it'll take you to get from point A to point B in a city, depending on how big the city is and how populated it is. And depending on the population, how wealthy it is and how much money I'm gonna have to spend. That's a big factor into that. Like I see a big farm in town, it's like, all right, I can walk in here with 50 gold and be fucking daddy Warbucks. I walk into 50 gold into Baldur's Gate, I'm getting robbed.
Right. Yeah, and
Or Neverwinter.
yeah, but you don't know, like Baldur's Gate's almost is just as big as Waterdeep or Neverwinter, but you don't know as a tourist unless you go and find that information how scary it is on the inside. Like
I really think that Baldur's Gate would have a reputation after.
well, that's what I'm
bit.
saying. Like it has a reputation, but like if you're an outsider or someone that's not from Faerun and you're there or something, you might not necessarily know like the customs, or you don't know that it's just as big as Waterdeep. Maybe it's kind of close to it, and then it's just much more seedy, like
dingy.
Yeah. Speaking of Waterdeep,
that's a big fucking map. Like you can see, like that, you can even see wards. Like that's where like city maps start to get real intricate. Like Neverwinter, Waterdeep. I'm trying to think of another city. Oh, Port Nyanzaru. Remember the map for Port Nyanzaru? That thing was big too. It's sometimes that's a powerful tool for the player and the DM. As just like this is where you might find some information. It's typically what's going to lead off any city that you write off. You're going to have a map and then reference to where it is. There's only one custom and it's universal. Rob and kill everyone, then bribe the cards. See, look, even Fuzzrabs knows, and he's not even from there. He's seen it a couple times.
A lot of the cities, depending on how big they are, you can kind of put whatever you want in it. There's so many buildings in there, you can just be like, all right, well, now there's, you're looking for a shop that sells oysters. Done. Like,
sure. There's a C word.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the good thing is being a DM and being a player, you can kind of create the universe. Like, people give credit to the DM that like they control, like they create the universe. It's half players. Players help create the universe.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff the DM doesn't necessarily expect I mean, it's hard to read every player and know how they're gonna ask, what questions they're gonna ask. So having just like we said, random names for things, people, you might have to create an NPC that works at a store that said players looking for something at, and you go, okay, well now we have a grocery store where Michael Skibbins works, and he's a gnome that has a jitter. There you go. There's your friend.
DMs.
Find your map, make a circle, and write grocery.
Yep. Ask your players. Give me an adjective and give me a noun. Give me a descripting word and give me the name of a person, place, or thing. And there's the bar. The laughing ass.
The raucous stone.
Chair. Yep. The rolling moss.
So that, and once again, you pull out your map and wherever you can get maps on just Googling maps. Like, it doesn't matter what the map is. If it's empty, you can put whatever you want on it. Use it to your advantage. Use it as inspiration.
Saying maps as inspiration, the Extra Life thing is Canopy Lake Park.
Yeah.
It's literally the map. I was like, that's a map, and I have access to it. QR code. Bing. Mine.
We live in like some tourist towns around here. You can go to like the closest like campground and get the maps to all the different places. Like, oh,
Everything.
I want to go to Funtown to get the Funtown map. You don't need to go to Funtown. You just go to a campground. They have a whole stack of everything, every map you can think of.
And the good thing is, well, I mean, another good thing to come from the COVID situation, they killed the Scotsman. There's a good one. Uh, Everything's accessible online. So I could literally type in Disney World and have the map to all of them. And that's
There's a
kinda
castle.
awesome. Let's say you're playing Ghostbusters, the RPG, and you want to run a theme park adventure. Oh my, there just might happen to be some ghosts in Disney. Let's see how much
Or-
money you lose and get paid.
Or you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna use the New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have all the streets, all the buildings are there. You can name whatever buildings you want to randomly to make them work in the story. Like,
A lot of blueprints are available online. Like, you'd be surprised.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
You could go. You could go to your town. You could go to your town assessor's office and actually get plans of the city you live in, or the town, the surrounding towns. Like, you can do stuff. You can get those things. You can get copies. It's like, it's really easy to do. And I mean, I have. Let me get my map.
Okay. Hello, chat. How are we? I hope you are wonderful. If you haven't, please hit that follow button. As Thundercat comes back and he's got his map in his hand.
So I went to, there's a map store in Wells, I think.
Yep. Checks out. That Biddeford?
No, it's
Wells.
someplace in
That's Wells.
Germany.
Oh, the plan of Schniedelwitz.
Schwedenitz.
Schwedenitz? Oh, it's a lovely place in Germany.
It's an original antique map.
So I see in the middle a giant farmland. I see up towards the top like a little market area. I see more farmlands. I see this is a big farming town. You got like the working industry towards the top of the map.
Yeah.
11 Murder She Wrote. A Cabot Cove map would be awesome. See? Anything.
And then it has the little key here, and it shows like the different spots that it already has. It says like the townhouse, the parish, Holy Cross, like different places. So like you could already have names for stuff already.
Another map that I know Thundercat used for a session that he ran that I almost kind of ruined by just kind of saying this person did it from starting off. He ran Clue, D&D style. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, there's a secret passage? This is fucking Clue. This is great. You did it. Nope, I'm just saying you did it. Don't care, I'm Barondeer. This is just me. But I was Barondeer, too.
It was a dream state, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Detective Barondeer was on the case.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to maps because I like drawing my own for each town that you guys go to, each world that you've been in. I've drawn, like, I don't know. I feel like it helps me create outside of the map.
All right. So we've talked about cities. We've talked about the world. Let's get Let's get dirty. Let's start digging. Let's talk about dungeon maps. So, I love dungeons. Dungeons are probably my favorite part of Dungeons and Dragons because dungeons tell stories with their maps and their economy. Because like their economics, like what lives their ecosystem. That's the word. It started with another E. You can tell a lot about a dungeon based on the traps, based on how big it is. I mean, if it's a little dungeon, it's probably not something too smart or something that's been there long. A huge dungeon has probably been created over the course of years and years. It has been time and tested. I love a good dungeon map, especially ones that have secrets that players will be like, well, wait, how does this work? And then you just shrug as a DM and go, I'm not sure. There is a path that walks along this way. Figure it out. Sorry. Dungeons are great. Go on.
Yeah, and then the issue is now making a map for it, and that's, I mean, once again, you don't necessarily have to make the map. There's plenty of dungeon maps for 5e online, or in some of the books. Even in the back of the Dungeon Master's Guide, there's a couple. So you don't necessarily have to make them. I recommend, if you're gonna make them early, because there'll be changes to them as the game goes on. So if you have them already done, and then you can go back and change them during the time you need to, basically. I know you're eating, but I'm trying to.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Typically, when I make a dungeon, I'll start talking about it like at least 3 months before I even want you guys to go there, see if you guys even bite. And then I'll figure out what made it, why it made it, and then I'll figure out an elaborate design and what it's for. Dungeons take a little bit for me to make. As I'm reading Fuzz's chat, yes, if it's a wizard that builds this or something that's intelligent, trap placement is key. Puzzles depends on what the dungeon's for. Have the map slightly confuse you and all the way. What map? They don't get a map.
Right.
You get to you make the map. I don't give you a map. You guys make a map. That's up to you.
If you want to.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like, if I'm DMing and you guys are going into a dungeon,
you know what I mean. Like that player, the players have to make it if they want to. If they don't, then good luck from there on out. I agree with I agree with all the things that you said, Buzz, but also adding on top of that, it doesn't need to have traps, because anything can become a dungeon. So I had the monastery, Breeze Monastery, right? Wasn't that what it was? Yeah, Breeze Monastery didn't have any traps in it. The essence that was in the air was the trap, the whole entire dungeon. Like, basically, if you didn't pass a specific save, you got another flaw, and then you got another flaw, and then you got another flaw, until the essence had been plugged up, like removed. The bottle had to be plugged. But it was a dungeon, but it wasn't a dungeon. It was the downstairs. It was the basement of the monastery that was basically my dungeon crawl for you for 2 sessions. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, do you remember how, like, the Tomb of Annihilation, the Tomb of the Nine Gods, is a several layer dungeon, which took, I think, like 2 sessions. It wasn't super long because I didn't want to have it be super long. And then on the other hand, there is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is under a mountain.
Yeah.
15 layers of dungeon. There's a town before the dungeon that you can go to, and then you go into the dungeon. It's that ridiculous, but it's also made by Hallister Blackcloak, which is a named wizard. And typically, when a named wizard puts a dungeon in, it's gonna do some weird shit. There's so many different levels with so many vastly different things, and it's very confusing to me as a person. And as a DM, like, there's a goblin market that's ran by a person who's actually a goblin because they're wearing these ridiculous pants. Sure. Okay. All right. I'll buy it. Why not?
Why not?
Why wouldn't that wizard allow that? There's a troop. There's vampires that live in the first layer, but they're actually actors. They're
pretending to be vampires.
They're goth kids. It's literally like, I read that, I was like, oh, they're the fucking Twilight vampire kids. I want to run this one layer, this one encounter, because that's so funny to me. Like, they look like vampires unless you pass a seriously high insight check. And I
So-
went, oh, that's
So like a map like that is just like extravagant. The Doom Vault, extravagant. Like
ugh.
the amount of levels like that add on to the I think every campaign should have a dungeon crawl, like one. I think one
Just
big
one.
one big
At
one,
least one.
and then a couple of those small 5-room I love 5-room dungeons, 5-room like
Encounters.
5-room maps basically.
Mm.
You walk into a church, there's the main room, there's the back room, you can go downstairs, there's a basement, and then you can go upstairs, there's 2 rooms upstairs. Boom, there's your church, and you just went through a dungeon for me. five room dungeon done. Like, and I don't know, there's a lot of times where I've built those little small ones, but like I said, go on Google, grab a map, and then just name the rooms and make it work for what you're trying to do. That's what I did with the vampire one we just did with on the Tuesday nights. That Knocker turned to stone. I mean, turned to lead. With his dwarf turned to lead.
There was the Sin Vault where each of you, someone had to do something in the room, and there was the 7 deadly sins, and
Yep.
someone had to do something, and someone touched something that was gold, and all their stuff turned to lead because it was greed. And I went, okay, that happened.
The use of maps were important to those for me. Being able to like look at my map and go, okay, you are in this room down the hall there, you can see about 15 feet and then it turns. Like, it's easy for me to explain what you're looking at if I'm looking at a map on my side.
Mm-hmm. I'll have descriptions like hallways are this long unless otherwise stated. Like,
Yeah.
I like to use
Yeah,
quick
I do.
descriptors.
I will do that too at the beginning of the dungeon if you're going into a big
Everything is
dungeon.
dark.
Yeah. There's
Assume it-
a soft
everything is
there's a
dark
soft
unless-
glow.
Yeah, everything is, there is no light unless you have a torch or unless I say otherwise.
Right. Each door is wooden unless I say otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Dungeons usually have your ground rules because like ceilings are always this high in corridors, and rooms are usually this big by this big high, and this by depending on how you work it out.
Right.
But that really kind of doesn't matter until you get into the nitty gritty and your small, close, friendly combat map, as I like to call it.
Friendly combat.
Yeah, the friendly combat map. You know, the grid in which my enemies will die.
The 20 by 20 room you guys just walked in, and there's 10 goblins. Yep. What do you do?
Yep. Roll initiative.
Yeah.
Those I fucking hate combat maps, but I really do. They slog down things. I get that they're a great asset for players and DMs to show your flexible creativeness.
But I know I don't think you can.
I have so many minis and I don't like combat maps.
Well, that's
like,
what it's
weird, right?
I think it's because I think combat maps are great for the visual.
Pictures. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
If you have,
I take this back. Spells. To know
yes.
how
Yeah.
That's a great visual for a combat map. Having that 20 boom.
My issue then though at that point is if I'm gonna cast a spell that's 120 feet from me, and I say, how far am I from that guy? You say 40 feet. I don't need to worry about how far my spell goes at that point. Like,
yep.
And then I could say, okay, well, am I going to hit any of my friends if I use it right on that person? And you say no, then I say, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Like, you can work over that spell issue.
How many of those goblins can I get without hurting my people? I would say maybe about 4.
Right,
okay,
and I'll say, okay, that's what I'll do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So but like, I like it for the visual aspect, but you're 100% right. It slogs down the session. I know some people absolutely love just doing straight combat, and that's fine. But at my table, my DMing style, it's like, And I get so tired after like the first 4 rounds. I'm like, okay, we're still doing this. How can I stop this without having to like make it not be messy or not upset the team? Like,
So
you know what
the
I
way that
mean?
we've done the combat maps in the past, like doing the dungeons, I like doing that on a big combat table and then people like exploring it room by room. That's cool. But like to draw out
Yeah.
little like scenarios, just fucking we're getting attacked by our campfire. No, I'm not putting a map out. You can go fuck yourself.
Right.
Ain't happening. You're all around a campfire about 10 feet from each other, and there's a pack of wolves surrounding you 40 feet away. They're circling you. There seems to be about 12. What do you do? Oh, we wait for the map. Well, 3 of the wolves are gonna come bite for you because there's no cartographer to get the map ready.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I agree on that too. I don't know. What for a guy that loves maps, I hate combat maps. I like, but because I DM and we use my house when we play in person, I can get down there like a half hour before everyone shows up and have a cool map set up. Like, and everyone shows up and like they're all like, "Oh, cool!" This like it kind of immerses everybody right into the game right away. I like that, but but if we're gonna like be 30 minutes from the end of the session, almost 9:30, 10 o'clock coming up, like I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna end the session. I'm gonna say start tomorrow.
I'm gonna end the session, or we can do a 10-minute theater of the mind combat rather than a 30-minute table combat. Right? That's
10 minutes, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll level up.
So combat maps are cool though for the visual, and I think the only other thing would be maybe spell use a little bit and disadvantage.
It's a great way to get people who don't normally play D&D to look at like something that Matt Mercer made with Dwarven Forge and some minis on it, and it looks really fucking cool. That's another good thing about combat maps that I do like. I still have the Oozing Temple. I went through my little cabinet down here. I was like, oh, I still have that map. Wow, that's never gonna come out now.
I have all of mine.
Yeah,
I haven't thrown any away.
Like, it's one of those things. It's cool if you have the time to prep for it. If you don't, then just wing it. It's a combat. It's a small little combat. It's not like it's 5 dragons attacking the party, because then I would like a map.
Yeah, if you're planning on a 10 dragons attacking the party combat, then you can have a map ready for it. Like, you should know that that's coming. If you do a random roll on a table because you're walking through the woods at night and you pull up goblin attack they're on wolves, riding wolves, like, there you go. There's your there's your combat, but don't expect to be like ready to have a map for it. Like, just say that there's there's one for each party member or whatever. Like,
or just use the same map and move things around.
Yeah,
that's another way to keep it fresh. Like, move the campfire like 10 feet. Either your players will be like, oh, this is great, we're still using a map, or they'll go, why are we using a map still? I know my combat. And then you'll go, yes, thank you.
Learning combat help. Yeah, learning combat also is probably a good reason to use maps, is to learn your combat, learn your moves, learn your abilities. I know with the upcoming D&D game, we had some questions about if there'd be any visuals or anything, and I know that we're going to do as much as we can in Theater of the Mind. And I think Vandal said if he does have anything, he'd be giving it to me to put on stream. So I don't know if it's going to really... I don't think it's going to become an issue for us. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to either Theater of the Mind or maps. Doesn't matter. But I like making maps. That's why I do it.
I'm a big fan of Theater of the Mind. If I can describe it to the best of my abilities, I will do it every time. Otherwise, I'll go, this is what it looks like.
Right. Cool.
I was going to say, I've murdered so many characters. I've described so many characters so many different times. So It's all easy stuff now at this point.
Now, like, if you're not necessarily good at like making maps, I'm sure there's someone in your party that is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
why...
that's why anytime he's been like, I need you to make a town for me. I'll just make a random town and be like, that works.
Yep.
Or move this over to the left or something, and I'll be like, okay, great.
Yep. But like, I need a town that needs this in the middle of it. I need a town that needs this, this, and this.
Yeah.
That's all I care. That's
and
do whatever else you want, and
yeah, I just have fun. I just have fun making maps now. I haven't done it in a while because we haven't played, but I don't have to worry about it with this one because I'm a player.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be super.
It's gonna be good to relax for a bit.
I can't wait to have a conversation with someone in the party and it take half hours.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like the way we work together as a group as we go on, knowing who we are now after the first like 45 minutes of like meeting everybody. Like, okay, this is going to be important, or this is going to be different. Oh, we're going to have some issues with this. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be good.
I didn't know we were gonna like know of each other like right offhand, but then as soon as the population, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wing it because I'm easygoing.
Yeah, you can make up stuff as you go.
Yep.
So what was your... Oh, I assume there are websites that have generic maps for things like towns, regions, etc. Yeah, normally I just go to Google. Yeah. Yep. I normally just go to Google and I write maps 5e.
Maps with a well, maps with a castle, maps with what I need.
D&D medieval maps. Boom.
There you go.
And I see what pops up.
If you're looking for a combat map, type in gridded combat map.
Yeah, write combat map in there, exactly.
Yep.
Or dungeon map. Yep. Because dungeon maps are already combat gridded.
I'm pretty sure that I know there's a couple sites that you can generate. It's a random dungeon generator.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It populates a map, and then I just go, okay, I can put all the things in here, and it's already got the numbers.
I had my buddy. I was trying to get him to make an app for D&D. He's like, I don't know anything about D&D. I was like, I just need you to make an app where you can make apps for D&D. And he's like, but how do I do? He's like, but what kind of maps? I was like, just call me when you make the app, and then I'll tell you what you need to put in it. And he's like, I'm not making the app. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, you'll fucking make a lot of money on this. He's like, I don't have time for that. I'm like, come on. I was like, I just want something I can make maps on easy and not have to worry about like all the bullshit that comes with all the like terrain builders and stuff that they have.
Computer.
Well, yeah, I got Photoshop now. Yeah. I'm just gonna start making maps on Photoshop.
Yeah, no, so. I'm not. Not at all.
Yeah, Patch is not a mapper.
I'll go, hey, Thundercat, that map look cool. Can you make me one with a well in the middle of it? Sure. Do you want anything else? Nope. Just need a well in the middle of it.
What's the like population average? Okay.
You tell me when you make the map.
Is there a lot of people in this town, Patch?
Probably not.
Okay, then it's not gonna be a huge map. Great.
There's a fucking well in the middle of the town. That says all it needs to.
Yep. True.
Yeah, no, I like the combat maps, slog down combat, but they're good visual for newer players. You'll get over it. Dungeon maps, take your time if you're gonna make one. Dungeon crawls are the lifeblood of D&D. City maps have your reference points to where things are, so when you know how far your players will go, be like, wow, it's getting kind of late. You guys are getting kind of hungry. Might want to stop and get something to eat, something like that. World maps, very key, especially if you're doing a very long, long campaigns. That way you know how long your caravan's going to be. So that way, if you have a caravan that's going to take 8 weeks of a campaign, you're prepared for it.
Sword Coast is a long way, not long road.
It is. I can tell because it starts at your beard and finishes at your forehead.
Jeez. Wow. You said I have a big face?
Yes, I said you had a big face. I guess I don't. I started talking and then I stopped and
just
then I
kept
realized what I said and I was
going.
like, "Wow, that was rude. That was rude." Uh, your face isn't big. It's just the beard. It's mostly beard at this point.
Just keep digging. Just keep digging.
Yep.
um, which one of the maps that I've made has been your favorite?
Pink Feather Island. Has been a very. That was no hesitation.
I
never dropped the shovel.
No, he's gonna like soon. He's gonna be look over there. I'm gonna turn and just take it off the side of the forehead.
Yeah, I'm digging my way to China. I'll bring back dumplings. Pink
That was
Feather
a fun
Island's up
map.
there.
I made that on just on the table. I didn't even make that in grid.
To be honest, nothing compares to Tiamat. Like, it wasn't even a big map. It was just the table and fucking Tiamat. Like, that map is forever going to be burned into my brain just because of the big mini. It doesn't, like, the Doom Vault was dope and I hated it. Pink Feather Island was great because I wasn't Baron Deer and I didn't want to swim and I was Captain Dudermont. But Tiamat is, that is the ultimate. The Thundercat, I've ran you through several actual D&D dungeons. What's been one of your favorites? They've had a little twists to them. But...
Oh, White Plume Mountain, was that the one that had the the lazy river? The lazy river.
The Fungeon.
That was funny.
It had the.
I thought that was funny. And then what was the other one that had the levels that went down, and they were each level was a different like terrarium.
Oh, that was White Plume Dungeon.
Okay,
that was,
same thing.
That was
okay. Yeah, that was probably my favorite one that we ran. That you ran us through.
That was a big dungeon. That was D&D's Fungeons. Like, if they would have went down the middle path, it was a fire spinny tube.
So I think my favorite map that I've run, when it comes to dungeon, I mean the Doom Vault dungeon map was fucking cool, but the thing that stunk about it was I gave like part of the module is giving you guys like a map that's unmarked, like you had like an unmarked map, so you guys could kind of see where you were at the whole time and where you were going and how to get where you wanted to go. But that map was dope. That map's super cool looking. But I think my favorite one that I ran was the Kobold one, the underground one. What's that called? The first one of the Tales of the Yawning Portal. That one's so Sunless Citadel.
Yeah.
The Sunless Citadel. That one's so much fun to run. Little Meepo, I think that name is. He's so funny.
Meepo.
Hi, I'm Meepo.
I like your Meepo voice.
Yeah, he was funny. I don't know, just like I thought it was a cool concept and how it just kept going down like into the ground, but it was actually like you were starting at the top of a castle and working your way down into the bottom of the castle instead of working your way up to the top of a castle. Like, I thought that was a cool concept. That was one of the cool
dungeon crawl.
Yeah,
or the inward dungeon crawl.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a tree underground. Like, that's crazy.
That bears like some crazy fruit that can they'll either kill you or do something great.
Yep.
I forget the great thing, but I remember the other one was death.
It like heals and it like reincarnates or something like that, or regenerates.
I'm torn because my two favorite dungeons are obviously the Tomb of Horrors, because I've run that 3 times. One group has kind of successfully beat it. The other group made their characters from level 5 to level 7, got cool magic items, and then went about 2 rooms into the dungeon, and then all got eaten by a sphere of annihilation. And then the third group got murdered in the lava seesaw floor trap that was in the true ending. So I was very impressed that they saw through the invisible walls. And the Tomb of the Dying Gods and Tomb of Annihilation is Chef's kiss. It's fucking perfect. It's such a great dungeon for such a silly adventure. Like,
I
there's some
think
weird shit.
I think I guess I hate to say it. But the D&D module dungeons are unbelievably well done. And the only reason why I hate to say it is because I want to say that my dungeons that I make are better. But I can't.
I will never say that because I have read about half of Undermountain and I've wanted to run it and I can't because I don't think I'd be able to do it justice. There's so much going on and I don't think I'd be able to do a 15-layer dungeon.
You'd have to read it the whole thing through and then read it all the way through again, then start playing, and then while you're playing, read 6 or 7 chapters ahead of everything that you're reading, just to make sure that you know what's coming up next.
I know the first 3 floors like the back of my hand, but that's where it starts to get like.
And that's what I'm saying. So you'd be like, all right, well, we're gonna get him through the first episode. We'll go on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like,
but the thing is like one floor in Undermountain could take a month, maybe 2. Like they're big. Like I didn't think they were gonna be that big, and then I looked. I'm like, oh fuck, this is huge.
yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. But it's if you have a group that likes to dungeon crawl and they want a dungeon crawl, that's the one to throw them through. And if they think they're hot shit after they finish that, throw them to Tomb of Horrors. Because then, go ahead and try and be hot shit through that one.
100%.
Oh, you touched something? You looked at something wrong? You're dead. But no save? Nope. You're dead.
And as a new player, like if you're bringing new players through these dungeons, you should make sure that they can handle themselves before you do, because if you're throwing new players directly into the Tomb of Horrors, they're not gonna last, and I don't know if
like it,
and they're not gonna have fun. Yeah, so they probably won't want to come back and play D&D. Kind of ease them into this stuff. I mean, I think Phandelver is a great starter for people. You start at a dungeon basically, like you go into that first little area. You start in a little, I think it's like a 7-room dungeon,
6 something like that. It's not big.
It has a couple of traps in it. There's some wolves you fight. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little spot to start.
There's a secret passage to get to the end.
Yeah, to skip right to the end and make your DM go, what the fuck? I planned all this stuff out and you're not going to do any of it.
It's okay. We did it a second time in the next dungeon in the town. We went to the end and then killed him with 1 hit because he was a squishy wizard.
Yeah, we had fun though. But I had fun doing that one. That was and it's not a bad one for a new DM either to start.
Nope.
What other one? What other one's a good start?
Tomb of Annihilation's got a good start. It's got a good hook. Honestly, it's fun. Let characters know that you might die. Have backup characters. Don't get attached. It's not.
I think on the Citadel is probably a good starter one. But start your players at level 3.
White Plume Mountain is a fun dungeon.
It's a 1 to 3 level for some of the Citadel, but it's like if you're at level 1 and you go down the stairs, you fight rats on the way down the stairs. Those rats could kill you at level 1. Like there's 2 swarms of rats at the very bottom, and I had the other group that I had run in it. They were level 3, and I almost took down the lizard folk that was there with 1 swarm of rats. Like, he was level 3. They were supposed to start at level 1. He would have been dead completely outright if it was level 1. So, like, start your characters a couple of levels higher than some of the Citadel tells you to, because they're not going to level up again the rest of the way.
The thing to remember with also that book, The Tales from the Yawning Portal, those are old school dungeons. Old school dungeons don't pull punches.
No.
There's
which they shouldn't.
Why. Thank you. They're a dungeon. There are 3 words that players will need to know before they go into a dungeon. If they don't remember these words, they're probably going to die in there and become a body count. Respect the dungeon.
Yes.
If it looks cool, investigate it first before you touch it. Oh, hey, look, a treasure chest. Poke it with a stick. If the stick sticks, then stab it.
Look real close, but don't touch nothing.
Mm-hmm. Buy a 10-foot pole. There is a 10-foot pole in your adventuring gear for this reason.
If you have a javelin, use it as a poker.
Mm-hmm.
Spears
if you have
work.
a hireling, send them first.
If you can use Mage Hand to touch something, do it.
Do it all the time.
Dungeons, yeah. And once again, if you're using maps, you can put all this stuff in your map. You can say, okay, there's a treasure chest in this room. Hey, okay, if they get past this room, there'll be a golem that activates. Whatever. Like you can have those little encounters already built for your map. And that's what I did with my map for the vampires. I had all the rooms built out, ready to go, and I knew what type of interactions you were going to have if you did this way or if you did it this way. Like I don't go too in depth into the dungeons anymore. I will write a descriptor of the room. And so it will be like, this room is a 10 by 10 room. It has a large desk on the far side and a sitting chair. And there's a fireplace that is burning hot as we speak.
Mm.
You would probably think it's a writing room or a sitting room or just a reading room, something that whoever owns that room goes to hang out and relax. And why is the fire burning? He must be home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as my descriptor, and then I write down, if they investigate, there's a quill inside of the desk that is worth 10 gold pieces because it is made out of ivory or something. Like,
it's fancy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just different descriptors that I write down on my map. Oh, not on my map, but like I'll write like room number 1 and then write number 1 on the side and write what's in the room. And if there's any monsters. And if the door is locked, then the DC to unlock it, like, or the DC to knock it down, depending on the type of door it is, or how well it's constructed, like, depending on the dungeon. But that's what I do with my maps. I have my little key, and I have my map.
Depends on, because it depends. Honestly, if I'm making a dungeon, I'm probably making something that I've done that's homebrew, or I'm dropping it in somewhere. I will have red herring rooms immediately. That's the first thing I'll fill. I'll look at my map and I'll go, okay, this room looks like it's important, but there's fucking nothing in there. This room also looks like it's important, but there's fucking nothing of importance in there. And then I look around and I go, which hallways are trapped? This hallway's trapped, this hallway's trapped, this hallway's trapped, this hallway's trapped. Okay. Why are these hallways trapped? Oh, because there's something cool in this room. There's monsters over in this room, though. There's something cool in this room, but there's nothing in this room that you can see.
How how will said denizens of the dungeon get around those traps? Oh, there's a secret passage in this wall. There's a secret that goes to this secret passage, so you can get from one side of the dungeon to the other side of the dungeon without having to bring the traps or go by them at all. Like,
or the players are like, they make a perception check. They don't see the trap, but you do see like these spots on the walls where like there's niches like carved where things like maybe tried to climb.
Yep.
And then be like, oh, well, the players will go, that's weird.
Why would they climb the wall?
Say anything.
Yeah.
Or they'll say that one because you got Thundercat in your party, and then he'll start to investigate more. And then someone might go, oh, can I help him? And then they might find the trap and be like, oh, you start to like tap around and you notice one of these floor tiles is hollow. As you tap it, it breaks and shatters, and you notice that there is a pit with pungies and this foul-smelling liquid on them.
Speaking of foul, I don't have anywhere to go with that. Let's finish up for the week and let's get into some promotions again.
Okay.
I want to talk about what we're gonna do the rest of the week. Next Tuesday, we'll talk about it in a minute. But on Mondays, we're doing Survival Night. Green Hell with myself and DD. We start around 9 p.m. We still are going to keep doing our Tuesdays talking D&D. We don't want to stop doing that. We'll do that every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturdays we have our team nights starting between 8:30 and 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. But the biggest thing is what we're doing next Tuesday.
What are we doing next Tuesday?
We are going to do a War for Garaxia spotlight. We're going to talk to the man himself, our dungeon master, Vandal Zero, about his ideas on how the campaign's going to go, things that might be interesting to... Come on, Streamlabs, are you drunk? Things that might be interesting. There it is. Okay. Things that might be interesting to keep an eye on in the campaign. And maybe he might even give us a couple of spoilers. We don't know. We might be able to get something out of him for some metagaming patch.
I don't want to. Can I talk to him in character voice?
You can talk to him however you want. But before you give the character, don't give the character voice away yet, because I want that for the promo. Yeah. So next week I'm excited to have a special guest, Vandal Zero, to talk about his campaign and all of the fun stuff that's happening in the War for Garaxia.
You know, I thought I was excited, but you know what? Since I wasn't included in that, I'm not excited. I'm ecstatic that Vandal's gonna be here. He's not just excited. I'm ecstatic and he's excited. I'm pointing at the wrong side. There we go.
That's fine.
I'm excited to talk to him about this will be his second time DMing and he's gonna be doing it on stream. So I would like to talk. I'm gonna pick his brain. It's because I've DM'd a bunch and I pontificate in my own way that I don't think I could ever DM on stream. It would probably be completely nerve-wracking and put me into a stigma mentally, and I know that I would probably do a great job, but I'd never want to put myself in that social aspect.
I think eventually you're gonna do it. I don't.
No, of course I am.
I just don't. I mean, obviously we can't jump right into another game already, but I think you do great, and I think we'd have a lot of fun. I get it. I'm kind of nervous about doing my voice, my character on live. When I first did it, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be one of those voices that I'm gonna have to do all the time soon. Great. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little nervous to get that going right away, and then once I get into it, I'll be fine. It's gonna be the first 10-15 minutes of game time.
I can't wait for Ironhide and Duke to talk more. Like, me to do my voice and just Tater to be Tater is gonna be great conversation.
I honestly thought about doing like the deepest voice I could possibly do on purpose to be deeper than Tater's voice. Like I thought about being like, hi, I'm Malcolm Sandy Fingers. How are you today? My name's like, welcome to Sandy Tinkers. And then have Tater.
I was gonna talk like Cow from Cowboy Chicken, but I was not gonna do that for the whole time.
I don't think I can get deeper either, but I was gonna try my hardest to do it.
Just wait, Fuzz. Just you wait. Wait until you hear Ironhide. You're gonna get the whole video.
Wait till you hear Malcolm.
Oh God. Watch me cover my mouth and not laugh for a good 30 minutes. And
I don't know if you'll see that in live streams, but I might have to cut out a lot of the laughing in our promo. I had to cut out a lot of stuff.
I'm talking to Fuzz, because if Fuzz still has the Patreon and he gets the whole thing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's gonna get the whole. He's gonna get the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be gold. Gold. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's all I could think about is playing D&D again. So October 1st,
play D&D?
Friday night, October 1st. 8:30 to 9 p.m. ish. We're starting. Hopefully we're no later than 9 p.m. We're starting. But
No later
I'm
than
going to
fucking 9.
hopefully have everything set up, ready to go, so we can put it on the starting soon screen at 8:30.
Got you,
Oh,
buddy.
it needs to renew. You don't have to.
Don't feel obligated.
Yeah,
but
don't feel
if
obligated.
you want a long D&D where you see everyone break at the first time they hear character voices, boom. Oh, I can guide the raid? What? Thanks, channel points. I can do that already.
I already know where I want to go.
Where are we gonna watch Madness?
No. If she's
Where am I
still
going?
on.
Who is she?
Wait.
Whoa. We're going too fast.
Yeah, she is still on. Okay, she is still.
What are you doing this week?
Let's see. I'm here.
You stream tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. So tomorrow I got side work I've been doing, so I won't be on tomorrow during the day. I'll be on tomorrow afternoon into the evening, probably late. I plan on starting around 5:36. And then going from then until whenever I feel tired. Or whenever I want to stop and do more editing. Dude, I was up till 3:30 last night editing. Also watching anime, so like I'd edit for like 20 minutes and then watch anime and then edit for 20 minutes. And then Sunday, I'll back Sunday.
Wednesdays and Sundays?
Yeah, Wednesday night, tomorrow night, I'll be playing Lost in Random. Lost in Random.
Yeah.
Dude, it's super fun.
It's weird.
The combat is awesome. The combat is super cool. Check it out.
Looks like I watched you play it and I was like, this looks really neat. But I've also watched a lot of people play a lot of things, so I'm like, fuck, there's so many good games out right now that are like so interesting looking.
I want to finish this one. I don't know what I'm going to get into after, but I have a few games that I bought a couple that were cheap on the indie sale.
Ooh, cheap.
The Dark Side Detective has been fun. I don't know if you saw that one. I had that.
Not Batman.
Yeah, it's really silly. It's really goofy.
I jumped in and I was like, Dark Side. I was like, wait a minute.
No, not the Dark Detective.
No, not the Dark Detective. This is the Dark Side. This is not Batman.
Super goofy. But yeah, and then Sunday night around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'll be jumping on again.
Same game?
If I'm not done with it. Yeah, if I'm not done with it.
Okay, not going to play any more Link to the Past?
I might get back into that eventually.
Yeah, there it goes.
I updated my retro. Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
I updated my retro achievements, got logged back in, and got my retro arch up and running. I have some retro games I definitely need to play.
So you have a wheel where I can request things, right?
No, I don't have a wheel for request. That's lifted.
But you have a point. Where
yeah, channel points. Yes. I'm probably gonna add more channel point stuff too, because I need to update my stream a little bit, but I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of irons in the furnace.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wednesdays and Sundays he's there.
And here all the other days except for Thursday.
Yes. And then so let's see, what do I have going on? Wednesday I have to play the game. Thank you. I have to play the game that you requested was Solstice.
Oh yes, I'll be there for that though. What time does that start? 4:30, 5?
6. I get it at 6:30. Yep,
okay, I'll probably hang out with you then for a little bit and then start my stream after.
Fair enough. So yeah, tomorrow is retro night. All of my save files are gone, so I have to start everything from scratch. Hooray.
What better way to start it than with Solstice? Quest for the staff.
There we go. Friday is going to be a little bit of a change in the schedule. This week will be the last
finishing
Friday
Solstice.
It'll probably be. I kind of want to beat Detroit Become Human. Like, I forgot how good that game was, and I was like,
game's awesome.
Yeah.
You didn't beat it before?
Detroit... No. I got
the ending's so fucking good.
Yeah. So Friday will be Detroit Become Human. Both of the weekday streams start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, to answer your question, Fuzz, is Bat streams. Bat streams start at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're getting kind of close to the end of Batman Arkham Knight. I might
the second
do it
one?
a little bit early. That's the third one. That's the last
Oh,
one.
so you're all done. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then you have to go
after I
and play
finish-
the other Batman games, like Batman Forever, Batman.
Those will
Sega.
be when I make the switch over to retro. But I think I need to play the War for Wakanda, like the big Avengers that I played in it.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, the garbage $60 game that I bought, and it's giving me free stuff. So fuck them. And then Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on when the Bears play, will be Detroit, and hopefully the finishing of that. And then Sundays will be Storytime Sunday, and then the week after, I'll talk more about that when I plug myself next week, because Friday streams will turn into D&D, so I'll be moving a day to either earlier streams or a different day.
Cool.
It is what it is, but D&D. D&D is I like to play D&D, and anytime I can play D&D, that's why I don't stream on Mondays, because I play D&D and we didn't play yesterday, so I'm a little upset. Still love you guys. But I like Tomo. I really do, and I like to just talk in my weird my little Tomo voice. And then Fridays now we'll be playing D&D. We talk about D&D on Tuesdays until I get to cross my arms and have conversations in a monotone voice, which is great. I love to. We played him for a one shot, and I missed him so much. I was like, I'm very literal, and this is great. I haven't been him in forever. Sad.
We'll get back into that soon.
We'll get there.
I think yeah. I got to clean downstairs, and then we can get back into it. I'm just thinking what's going to happen to this.
Yeah, see, that's the trade-off.
Might have to do it on a Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
What day is it?
D&D.
No, it would have to be Saturday evening. It would have to be before, because I work 9 to 5 on Saturdays. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's a conversation for down the road.
Yeah,
but for right now, Tuesdays, talking D&D, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/Dysfunctional Gaming TTV.
Yeah, baby.
Wherever the podcast goes, I'll be there.
Cool.
Plug the Bearded Man. You can catch him on Wednesday and Sunday at twitch.tv/Thundercat0420. And then you can catch myself, the kid from Maine with a mustache who needs to get more pictures of moose, on weekdays, Wednesdays, and Friday currently, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Saturday, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More importantly, catch us both here Tuesdays for Talking D&D at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hell yeah.
Bing, bing.
All right, without further ado, we're going to head over to our ending screen, and our boy...
Oh, guys. Hello.
I didn't go to ending
I can't
stream.
see you guys. I'm sorry. Let me put
Ending
these on.
stream.
Oh, hi. I see everyone again. How are we tonight? What were we talking about? I kind of dozed off towards the end of it. I'm not really a fan of maps. You know what I am a fan of? Maps with treasures, because they lead to more money. Pixar pays me a lot of money. Okay, so it looks like we're going over the basic Witchbex. She's lovely, lovely, lovely streamer who's doing a subathon right now. But I got a lovely song from this Canadian band that I know. It's by the band called Rush. I think it should be called Randy. But a modern day warrior, mean stride. Today's Randy Sawyer, mean pride. Boop 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 doo. Do boop 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 doo. Though his mind is not for rent. Boop boom boop doom. Don't put him down there again. He reserved the quiet defense. Riding out his day's event. Boom 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 doom. I'm Randy. Boop boom boop doo. Boop 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 doo doo doo. What you say about my company is what you say about society. Catch the myth, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. Boom, 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 boom. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as the skies are wide. All right, guys, you have a lovely night. Make sure you throw them ready rates up in the chat. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next week. And more importantly, Saturday for team night. That's going to happen. We'll see you there, guys.